Dion had me on mute. It's her fault, so you blame her. Welcome back, everybody, uh, to our live. What we on episode? What's episode this? 170, 169. What are we on? I don't even know. Let me look. Let me see. Where are we at? I think we're 169. We're so behind. It's supposed to be way past 169. But that's okay though. Let's go down the list. Shout out to everybody who joined us. Sorry for the delay. Seven C's, haven't seen you in a minute. What's going on with you? I'm out of Adele Jean. How you doing? What you mean you finally get to catch me live? Golden Starlet, what's going on? D, what's happening? Geraldine, I think this the same person. I don't know. Maybe from some years ago. Maybe could be out of the NYC area. I think that's where you were at. NYC or Houston. One of the two. Justin, what's going on? Tina Cole, you're new here. Righteous One, thank you. Sakurai, I'm assuming you came from Operation Tech Takeover. My assumption there. Sir Octavius, how are you doing? MB, what's going on? Lena, what's going on? How are you? Right? And D got mad with me about your name. Armanasia. She got mad with me and like, you need to practice. So I'm just letting you know I'm practicing. AK Petty, what's going on? What's going on, Carlos? Celia V, how are you? And Kevin G, what's happening, right? And for those that never comment or just come to the show and watch, or you catch the replay, don't be afraid to comment. We're welcoming. We're nice. We try to be at least. What's going on, MJ Cannabis? Yep. I kind of figured that. So, you know, we'll give you my overview of the week, and then we'll go from there. Let's see. Yes, the Python. Um, so, um, let me give you my overview of the week. So, I see the stuff going on with what do they call Ace and them tonight's conversation. I think that's the name of that. I see that. Whatever. I also saw the $500 billion AI infrastructure uh bill. No surprises there, right? We're not surprised over here. I told you infrastructure is going to keep growing. I told you data centers are going to keep growing. I told y'all to get into the data center REITs, REITs, to invest in them 2 years ago. I said this 2 years ago, right? For those that are new, you can go and search old podcasts that I've been talking about this for two years ago. This is quantum computing. I've been talking about it for years. This is not new. No one should be surprised over here about these things. And I'm not telling you these things just because I'm guessing them. I see where the money is going, what they're doing. I'm in it. Like I'm literally in it. And so when I see it, I come to you and I tell you, go look here. Hey, be on the lookout for this. Now, it may not happen right away. It may be something that come out maybe a week or a month or 2 months later, right? But it's not nothing new. We're not new to this. We're not new to quantum. We're not new to quantum computing over here. We're not new to edge computing. We're not new to AI over here. We're not new to the data centers. We're not new to none of the stuff that they're talking about. We're not new to none of that. I talked about clean energy. These are things that we normally talk about. It's a regular conversation. So when people come to you like, yeah, they building out. Yeah, I know they're building a data center. Yeah, you can see they was building that data center. Yeah, we've been know about that. That ain't nothing new. We on that. We've been on that. We've been on that. Let me look up. Look this up so you all can. Uh, add this for your uh for your own for your own edification here. Let me go a different way. Let me look it up. I'm looking up a data center REITs. And I'm gonna give you a listing. Yep. This ain't this ain't say nothing new here. All right. So I don't want the top two. I want a listing of all of the data center REITs. I just want a listing of them. So you all can make your own. It's back when I was still doing I still do from time to time. I'll do my reports from Seeking Alpha. I haven't done it recently. But here we go. This came out from Seeking Alpha in April 5th of 2024. There is another one for Seeking Alpha as well too, but we're gonna talk about data, just a quick brief on data center reaps, and I have a whole bunch of other stuff that I want to talk about today. I want to talk about a couple of things, a couple of things that I'm seeing, directions and so forth. I won't go into the $500 billion um, AI infrastructure, AI bill. Um, I just I don't want to go into that. I think I talked about 1.3 trillion last week, right? Or before, right? We talked about 850 billion in the DoD infrastructure request, which is now going to be the latest update is 850 billion this year. Next year they're requesting 1 trillion for DoD. The new request that came out is 1 trillion from DoD. The head of the DoD was a black man and he stepped down, but he's putting in a request, I think, before he steps down for 1 trillion. Um, Let me pull him up while we're talking about him. Uh, yeah. So let's see. They passed nearly. It's 850, but the new one is 1 trillion. So let me see if I can pull that up for the past month. Let me just show you how trillions pop up all the time. So in January, the Navy plans to buy, and let me make this bigger here. The Navy plans to buy 85 new ships. That's going to cost $1 trillion. Um, Let me see if I can find the guy for DOD. It is a black guy, and he is requesting 1 trillion for 2025. See, DOD is asking Congress to authorize the $900 billion fund of the military strategy to take over. So this is one, right? I don't need to make this up. This is right now. This is 2024, March 2024. That's 900 billion. The new one for 2025 is 1 billion. I mean 1 trillion. Let me find the guy head of. So you all know who he is. Whenever something comes up, it's him. This guy, Pete Hegseth. Honorable Pete Hegseth is the 29th Secretary of Defense. He graduated from Princeton. You're not sure what he looks like? That's what he looks like. Right. Right. He is actually stepping down from what I'm seeing across different things. Let's see. Oh, the name is Lloyd. Okay, it's Lloyd. That must have been a report. All right, so Lloyd James Austin the third. Right, he goes out in on January the 20th. He is born and raised from Thomasville, Georgia. Came out of the army, so forth and so on. So he is stepping down. So Lloyd is actually leaving, but Lloyd is also asking for Um, he's also asking for 1 trillion. All right. So here is the what I found. He said Austin tells OMB $926 billion defense budget is needed, and then he recommended a $50 billion boost above the 2026 defense. So here it is right here. He asked for 926, then he went back and asked for another 50 billion, right? So here it says right here, the outgoing U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has recommended a boost in the defense spending bill. I mean, spending by 50 billion more than the current 2026 projection. A move could push the defense budget to 1 trillion in the incoming years. Right, 1 trillion. In November 27, a letter to the Office of Management and Budget that was seen by Bloomberg. Thank you for a pop up there. Uh, recommended that President-elect Trump's incoming administration a proposed 5-year defense plan starts at 926 billion for 2026 compared to the 876. So this is must be the 50 billion that he added on to this 926. But yeah, but again, it could go beyond 1 trillion. I don't doubt that it will go to 1 trillion. From what I'm seeing and what I'm looking at, it is going to go to 1 trillion. So we are in living in a time where your skills matter, where you need to stack those skills and you need to know where to strategically look for jobs. What does that look like? What does that breakdown look like? So um um so you can go and I'm gonna just show you how I look up stuff. What is the budget breakdown? So you can go in and say, okay, what is the budget breakdown? I did this before. There's an actual PDF for this. This is all public information. And it's not something that you guys can not go and look for yourself. You can go look for yourself and see what that looks like. All right. So for 2025, this is what we were expecting here. Let me go down here. Okay, so here's where the money is being broken out at. All right, so right here it says the budget request includes 143.2 billion in research development and tests and evaluation. RDT and E. Remember, RDT and E always has a budget. That's from colleges, that is from states, that is from colleges, states, cities, all get money some way or another from a federal. That's why I tell you all, go work at the college. Like if you're struggling to try to figure out a job in tech, colleges have budgets. They have a research budget. They have also partnerships with the government so you can get clearances as well. So that's just another way to get a clearance. Georgia Tech comes to mind, MIT comes to mind, John Hopkins comes to mind, Duke comes to mind. All those places have partnerships with the federal government where they offer research and development and also clearances as well. They sponsor them. They have partnerships with them, right? So again, you don't have to always go work in tech and so forth and so on. There are other places that you could go work in. Just pointing that out there. Let me see. God, I had an email coming. I thought it was odd. Okay. No. All right, we're good there. All right, so now let's get into it. So the other one is 167.5 billion for procurement. Combine these investments will establish a stronger, nimbler, and more modern combat credible forces across all domains. All right, 61.2 billion for air power to continue developing, modernizing, and procuring lethal air forces. 48.1 billion for sea, 13 billion for land. Again, I always tell you, the people that pay the most are the Army and the Navy. I mean, not the Army and Navy, but the Air Force and the Navy. The Army gets paid the least, right? They the first to go to combat, and they probably the last to go to combat, and they get paid the least, right? So if you are in the DoD space, or if you have a clearance and you work in the army contract, you're probably getting paid the least. You may be getting paid most on the contract, but you're paid the least out of all these things. So Air Force, Navy, Army is always the way. So if you got someone that reach out to you and they say they working for Air Force, go with it. If they come to you and they say Navy, go with it. Army, you need to ask some questions. How long is the contract? How much am I getting paid? Like Army always get overworked and the least paid. Just my observation, just what I know. I try not to work Army contracts unless it's lucrative, unless I'm the first one in. I talked about this Wednesday night. You want to know how big is the team going to grow and how many people on the team, because you need to know whether or not that if you the first one in, you can get dibs on, you can probably pull more from the pot. But if they got five people already in there, that pot gets smaller and smaller as they hire more people. So you got less leeway on that. So you want to be the first one in, right? You want to be top dog, right? So you need to find out how many people they're gonna bring into the fold. Also says the FY25 budget requests 49.2 billion to modernize and recapitalize all three legs of the nuclear triad and operate our legacy systems, even as we pursue arms control measures that enhance the U.S. and allied security. For example, 9.9 billion in Columbia class ballistic missile submarines, 5.3 to continue development and procurement of the B-21 bomber program, and 3.7 billion to continue funding for the ground-based Sentinel program, right? And then here, therefore, the FYI 20 budget requests 28.4 billion to enhance U.S. missile defense capabilities to defend homeland, the U.S. deployed forces, and our allies and partners against this growing missile threat. Then he also says another here 9.8 billion for long range fires, 33.7 billion for vital space capabilities, which we're going to talk about that today. We are going to talk about that today. Resilient architectures and so forth, and 14.5 billion in cyber activities, right? So when we talk about cyber, and everybody say they want to be in the cyber, but from what aspect of cyber do you want to be in? Do you want to be in cyber where you're physically protecting data centers? Do you want to be in cyber where you're physically protecting the data? Are you working towards pen testing? Do you want to be do you want to work towards uh, taking care of the operating system, the applications, the load balancers, the network? Cybersecurity spans all. And in this case, you all have the actual like DevSecOps and software engineers also have cybersecurity responsibilities within those roles as well too, right? So again, it is where you see yourself when it comes to these things, right? So now, why did I bring all of this up when we're talking about this? Because again, I'm listening to other shows, and I'm not gonna say no names, but people here know because they was on the show last night. I'm just gonna say, hey, we got a lot of people that like to bite the thoughts and the ideas that I have. I think it's half dozen. Yeah, whatever. I hear you, right? I hear everybody can talk about these things, but not in depth enough. So be careful about what content you listen to and what people are talking about, because some people just don't have the in depth knowledge as they would like to think they do or like to show that they do. I'm just going to leave it like that. So when I look at this, I actually, I'm going to see which one it is here that I have it on. Um, Yeah, right here. So I looked at this right here. So here we go. Quantum computing and cybersecurity, right? So there's quantum computing and cybersecurity, and there's also quantum computing and AI, and then there's also just all around the I want to say it this way, the framework of all of these things, right? So again, HIPAA and AI and cyber, and then there is you can look at SOX and AI and cyber. There's so many different angles when it comes to what this could look like in the future, right? Right. So again, we have to take note on where we want to be at. It says, to your point, what should we discern? Because the info we coming in at, yeah, it depends on you. It depends on what how you see yourself. That's why I tell y'all, take your write down all your skill sets. Then take your skill sets and rank them from 1 to 5. One being your top dog, five being your lowest. Now, based on what you have as your skill sets, like, and when I say skill sets, that's problem solving, that's ability to read, that is ability to communicate, and so forth, right? All these things matter. So you write down all your skill sets, because now you need to know who you are and what you're good at and what you're bad at. Because when you sit in an interview and you can't communicate your ideas, your thoughts, your problem solving, and so forth, we're taking a look at all those things and trying to figure out how to where we're gonna put you at. Are you going to be a good fit for this? How would the customers receive you? How would the rest of the team receive you? How could you come in and be a force? All those things. Or do you have good leadership ability? All those things matter, right? All those things matter. Now, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. And I don't want y'all to get confused on what my thoughts here are, but we're just going to talk about a lot of stuff, right? So, when we're talking about this whole thing with quantum, and this is not a quantum show. When we talk about this whole thing with quantum, I want y'all to be clear that the United States has declared it as a national security threat. Um, Let me pull this up. Um, Let me find it. So there is a national um uh partnership for K through 12 to teach computer science, physics, chemistry, also quantum computing as well too. So let me go back over here. I looked up K to 12. It was a partnership with the White House, that they created the curriculum for K through 12 as well. K through 12 quantum White House. Let me see if I can pull it, if it'll come up for me. Okay, it is that one. The Q through 12 consortium, which is the K through 12 learning tools, and that's what that one is that we just left. That's what that is. And so let me see. Yeah, all right. Here you go, right here. This came again. Oh, they got it. They took it down. You have to now you get Trump. Gosh. Let me show you what I found. They took it down. Let me show you right here. If we go right here, the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, this came out in 2023. 2023, right? And so when you click on it, of course, it does this, boom, goes back to Donald Trump. So they took that down. but this Q through 12 education partnership is still there. So let me show you. See, and we're gonna talk about it. All right, so let me pull this up over here. All right, so again, in 2023, which is 2 years ago, quantum computing is a national security threat, right? This was in 2023. This ain't I didn't make it up. This is what I mean. Like when we start talking about the purpose of quantum computing, how it would accelerate how if we break the AES encryption, which they already have and already proven, and I think it was China that broke it first. Um, Now we're in trouble, and that has already been done. So again, we are at the crux of advanced skills. Now, here's where I this is where I get this is where I get what's the word I want to look for? This is why I don't want to say in my bag, or this is where I think the messaging for us gets confused. You will hear people say, don't go to school, don't go to college and waste your time. Go get a trade. Go get your AWS cert. Go get your Linux cert. Go get these certs, and then go get the job, right? Now, my question to you is, how many certs have you seen out there for quantum computing? And if you didn't go to school for quantum computing, then what? Right? So, who ever went to school or adjacent to quantum computing and things around it is probably going to be the people into it, right? Are probably going to get the first dibs on those jobs. All I'm simply saying is watch who you take in information from, because those people are not looking at the tenure down the fold. Now, let's back up. The new administration and some people, we won't say no names, are saying that we want to hire immigrants. Where they're hiring them from? What is their educational background? Because they're coming over here, and believe you me, from their country, they more than likely got degrees from their country. So not only now are you competing that you don't have no degree, you don't have really no experience, you don't have no degree, you don't have no experience, and you're competing with somebody who coming over here with a degree from their country to come over here and do work. And when they come, they don't come one or two, they bring their whole family, they bring everybody. And so now here you are out here competing, and you it ain't gonna be looking good. Let me say this: people will get to work in tech, but there will be a I don't want to even call it a glass ceiling. There will be a ceiling in which you in an area in which you can work. You won't go beyond these points. You will get to work in tech. You will do help desk. You will do DevOps. You will even probably even go lead a team. But there are certain areas of tech that we don't all have our foot in, and it's not a lot of us in it. And I just know it. When it comes down to edge computing, when it comes down to we're picking up AI as consumers and how to build applications that utilize AI, but we're not building and working in AI like that. We do some work, but we ain't a lot. Now, I'm gonna even take it one step further. What do you think it looks like for on the quantum computing side and the high performance computing side? So You can listen to the folks over there talking about don't worry about your degree, or you can strategically get your degree and pivot into areas like quantum computing, like AI, like quantum and cyber, like AI and cyber, AI and whatever, quantum and AI, those things. I just told you that the budget for 2026 is soon to be 1 trillion, really close to a trillion. So you can figure out what the Army is doing, what the Navy is doing, and what the Air Force is doing. Now, when I say these things, let's not leave out the basics. The basics are everything needs an operating system, everything needs some type of network, and everything needs some type of storage. Without them three, you got nothing. I ain't never seen an operating system run on nothing. so, so you got to have some type of operating system, right? Operating system meaning like I may have a smaller scale down operating system, but everything needs an operating system. It needs a way to communicate to get out, which is the network, and we also need some type of storage, whether it is an SSD, a thumb drive. I don't care. It needs to. It don't work. It don't work on nothing, and it may be something that sit there and information come in. And remember, storage is not just a block storage. It's not just a block drive. It could be memory. It has to go somewhere. It has to come in and go somewhere. You gotta understand what people are talking about. Y'all would sit on these panels and talk about how Elon Musk is hiring folks without degrees. Yeah, but how far do they really go? Nobody asked that question. How far have people really gone? There are outliers, and I we know some outliers, but we don't know a lot of outliers. E. Brown, it's not even about the quantum computing jobs. It is the jobs centered around quantum computing. I'm gonna give you an example. I'll give you an example. Um, all right, so Mercedes Benz itself is already using quantum computing to improve the design and the performance of their electric vehicles and batteries. So when I say that, how many people you know are working on the design and improving the the performance and the time of a battery using quantum computers? Again, IBM, you can go take that course at IBM for free. But that's what I mean. Like we got to start looking at, okay, here's what this technology is. How is it being applied? Who's what companies are using it and how are they using it, and how much relatable are my skills, not to go in to say that I'm gonna get a job right there, but I could be adjacent to it. Sometimes you got to learn how to be adjacent to stuff. Adjacent meaning I get in a company, I work in the actual division in which they're utilizing that, but I may not be the engineer on that said project, but I understand it. Right? What time frame on when people what time frame on when people will be confined to certain tech I think it's now. I think the whole you don't need a degree thing. I think it's now, and I'm gonna give you another aspect. When it comes down to promotions, I personally think when it comes down to promotions, not only just you showing up and being a leader, but your qualifications also help seal the deal. Now, those qualifications can get trumped with your performance, but I've also seen people get trumped with having the performance, having the skill sets, having no degree and then get overlooked. Everybody likes you. Everybody loves to work with you. You do great work, but we went with this person because they had this degree or they had this military experience or they were friends with the person that was over on the other side. That's the network that I be talking about. Now, for us, when it comes down to the help desk, nothing wrong with the help desk. I started at the help desk, but don't get stuck at the help desk. Get your ass up every day and figure out, I'm on this help desk. How the hell do I get off of it? What does that time frame look like and where I'm going? Give yourself a year or two. You should, in that year or two, you should be studying. You should have a, you should at least have some type of certification you going for, some place you want to go to, something you're interested in. Don't sit back and let people pass you by. I've seen people go and this is something, if you all missed it, we had Kelsey on on Wednesday nights meetup. Like he said, he used to jump a job every 6 months. If this job was paying 40 and he found another one paying 50 or 60, I'm out. I get it. He was job hopping for not just the money, but also the exposure in the new position. Don't move lateral. Don't move over here for leaving one help desk job as help desk one and then go over here for help desk two and you doing the same thing. You got to be moving up. Your skill set should be moving up. When you move up, your skill sets move up. When your skill sets move up, you should be getting paid more. That's what they say, JM. Let me tell you something about what they say, and let me tell you what I see. They say switching jobs is bad, and it shows you unreliable. No, that's what they tell us. Let me tell you what I see. What I see is people job companies and jobs all the freaking time, and don't nobody say nothing. I know that for a fact. I work on a project where I done seen people jump one company and go to another company. I done seen people jump from one company on Monday, and 2 weeks later, they at the new company right back in the same spot. What you talking about? So that's the market they say to us. What I see, and especially if you're talking about in Fang, they job poach people from jobs all the time. Microsoft was poaching open AI engineers. They poach people. If you worth your weight in gold and you sitting in those spaces, again, you gotta be in the space. Job people come to you. They looking at you. They want to come to you to see what you doing. How can I work with you? How can I get you on my team? I need your energy. I need your feedback. Yep. And then they poached them back. Like we not see, we talking about the job we talking about, it don't look good because you job hot. Them the 50,000, 60,000, maybe even the 150. Maybe. But when you get to two, three, four, five, six, seven, who got the best offer and what that money look like right now? Don't give me no RSUs. Don't give me blah 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 blah. They got the money. They coming with the money. Hey, listen, we can do this for you. We can do this for you. We can do 5 million for you on a job. We're gonna give you 3 million in the cash, and then we're gonna give you 2 million in equity, or 2 million RSUs, or we're gonna give you a sign-on bonus, or this, that, and other. Again, it is what is said to us. It's not what I see. What I see is people jump ship all the time. You don't think in San Francisco they jump ship? If I'm working at Salesforce and Salesforce is paying me 250, and for the same job with a little bit more responsibility, I'm gonna jump over here, and that job paying me 350, I'm gone. See, we got what we call a loyalty problem. I'ma stay here because this job gonna do me right. Then y'all see the woman that just retired for 32 years from what, FedEx and UPS, and they gave her a cake and she retired. Again, understanding how the money flows and where everything is at. That's what y'all gotta understand. Stop sitting and waiting for somebody to come offer you something. Go snatch it, because they come snatch it from you. They quick to come tell you, oh yeah, we got another round of layoffs. Okay, no problem. Cool. I'm not worried about the layoffs. Why? Because on the layoffs, I have already put my money up. I asked for the sign-on bonus. I put the sign-on bonus money up. I worked. I put my money up. I stacked. So we cool. It says, don't they make you sign a contract so you really can't move? But it is not legal. Justin, that contract is not legal. That doesn't hold up. Why? Because you cannot, in the court of law, you cannot stop somebody from working in a space with their, and that's their livelihood. And that comes from employers. So if you want to get you a lawyer before you sign those contracts, which I encourage you to do before you sign any of those contracts, go get your lawyer to review it so you can put addendums in there. Don't sit around and wait for somebody to tell y'all how to move. The money is out here. The blueprint is out here. Make the move. Stop waiting. All right, let's get back to it. I already told you quantum computing, national security threat. We talked about that, right? You know where to go. K through 12. There's a whole curriculum out there. There are people that are adjacent to that curriculum that are teaching trust and believe it. It is a thing. It is a thing. So one of the big things on the quantum side, let me pull this one up so that you all know, because quantum computers and laptops is a thing. All right, so this is coming. But here's the desktop. I talked about this one right here. SpinQ presents the world's first portable quantum computer. The quantum computer offered by SpinQ are indeed remarkably smaller compared to the fastest models produced by IBM and so forth. So here is the quantum computer, that is a portable quantum computer right here. It is by SpinQ. AI and quantum computing are supposed to be the two main technologies that will influence and evolution and influence our evolution the most in the upcoming years. Here's some open source projects around them. Here's a quantum computer that is mobile. Is right now, it says is the entire device is 60 watts of power, and its price is Japanese yen converts to $8,100. That's what it is right now. Let's bet in 5 years this will be down to about $2,000 or $3,000 in 5 years, if not more, if not sooner. Or somebody's going to make a smaller version of it, or a similar version of it. Is there a Timu version of it? I don't know. I don't know if there's a Timu version of it. Let me see. Let's see if somebody got one out here, some other one. Okay, so it looks like they have Spin Q Gemini, Spin Q Gemini Mini, and then Spin Q SQC, a quantum computer, right? It looks like they got several sizes of it. It looks like they got multiple sizes of it. So that's what that looks like. Let me pull this up. Did y'all see the Google chip, the Google quantum chip? All right, so driven by R&D and technology, here's SpinQ. Here's the little one that we saw right here. And then they have this one and then this one. They're already out here having desktops already for quantum computers. It is a thing. It is a thing. Right? So don't get stuck. Don't get stuck out here wondering what they doing with quantum computing. It's already out here. Do your research. All right. So we talked about the budget for this 1 trillion and what that 1 trillion is going down, where it's getting divided up into air powered Air Force, sea power Navy, Army, right? Air Force 61.2, Navy 48.1, and then Army 13 billion, right? Again, Air Force, Navy, Army. That's how the money flows. So if you ever want to know what's happening in our, as far as technology and research and development, look at the Air Force first. The next one would then be the Navy, and then the Army. The Air Force sets the tone. The Navy then looks at it and takes what they can and then follows, and then the Army is told what to do. I'm just telling you. Don't feel bad, army folks out there. Yeah, don't feel bad. All right. And like I said, Navy plans to buy 85 new ships that will cost $1 billion. Somebody got to build the ships. Somebody got to put the actual technology into them. That's a job. The data center reach that I talked about here, this is how we all got started with the data centers. Here's the data center reach. I told you before, I've talked about AI, data center, quantum for years. This is not new for us. This is just something we've been doing. All right, so let me hop down here on the data center REITs. Let me back out of this because this is huge for me right now. All right, so here we go. When we talk about data center REITs right here, let me pull this up right here. Equinix, ticker symbol EQIX, Digital Realty, DLR, Iron Mountain, IRM, and then Digital Bridge, DBRG, right? We're talking about data center REITs. So these new data centers that are being built, go find out who's actually the owner of those. Excuse me, right? Do they fall on the EQIX? Do they fall on the digital realty? And you can go look and study the patterns of these as well too. Go sign up for their newsletters to see what they're working on, see what's coming out, what they're doing new. How are they going to keep things cool? How are they going to use water? How we're going to be green? What area are they moving into? What people, when you see data centers being built, somebody got to get to them, somebody got to protect them, somebody got to live in the area, somebody got to eat, somebody got to have some fun, somebody got to have a house to stay, apartments to stay, hotels need to be in the area. All those things matter. All those things matter. Put a one in the chat if you're keeping up with us. I'm just trying to make sure ain't nothing else in here that y'all need to look at. Yep, we cool there. Do I want to go there? Here we go, right here, yeah. We'll go that one. We're going to talk about this one in a minute. All right, Google Willows, the quantum chip, and its threat to the current encryption standards, right? We have a quantum chip now. Google built a quantum chip. Everybody's worried about AI, but what is this quantum chip? And how does this quantum chip affect edge computing? How does this quantum chip affect data centers? What does a data center look like? What do new data centers look like? Right? Okay. So this is directly from Google right here. Let me pull this up a little bit. All right. Our new chip, this came out December the 9th, demonstrates error correction and performance and paves the way for large scale quantum computer. Right. Here's the Willow chip. It is right now. It says today I'm delighted to announce Willow, our latest quantum. I mean, that looks small out there. Let me blow that up some. Has the state of the art performance across a number of metrics, enabling two achievements. The first is that Willow can reduce errors exceptionally as we scale up with more qubits. This cracks a challenge in quantum error correction, and that the field has pursued over 30 years. Second, Willow performed a standard benchmark computation in under 5 minutes that would take to today's world's fastest computers 10 septillions years, a number that's vastly exceeds the age. So, for high performance computing, do not be surprised if you start seeing quantum chips. What am I talking about? Okay, how much data do you think NOAA takes in as they fly into a hurricane, or data from tornadoes, or data from weather, international data, data of around the world, data of just how much data do we take in by observing space? And when I say space, I'm talking about beyond our region, or beyond our area, right? Beyond Earth, Mars, Venus, this and so forth. How much data intake is that? And how fast of a compilation can we make to make a decision? Oh, it's beyond terabytes. We talking big numbers. I'm trying to see if they give us a number. I just want to see how much data they take in. All right, so here we go. We just to give you an idea, to put some thoughts in your head. All right. NOAA collects real-time data from satellites, buoys, weather stations, citizens, and much more. See what is happening right now in this collection of ocean, freshwater, and atmospheric resources. Right. So real-time data sources right here, right? You go in, look at the collection of data, right? So imagine how much data you're taking in, and then you look at this data and have to make a decision about that data, right? You got to make a decision about that data. So that's what I mean. How much data are we taking in? Now, here's another one. How much data do you think they had for taking in for um the latest let's go even back, the Boston race. You know how quickly they use data to find out who did what, when, where, and how? Think about it. the how long it took for them to get, like, they had a picture out before you knew it. Think about how much data they took in to scan, scour, come up with a profile, put it out there. That's what we're talking about. We're looking to make decisions rapidly. We're not looking to make decisions tomorrow. We want to make decisions in the next 5 minutes. And I need to know whether or not I need to make that decision. Now, is that the best decision at this point in time? Right. So Google recent announcement of quantum processor marks. Let me blow it up. Right. Marks a significant advancement in quantum computing technology while raising questions about security and sustainability of the current encryption methods. A quantum computer grows as quantum computers grow more powerful. The cybersecurity experts grow increasingly concerned about their potential to break widely used encryption standards that protect sensitive data worldwide. Google's quantum processor is a leap forward in quantum computing capabilities, particularly in its approach to error correction and qubit stability. Unlike traditional computers that process information in bits, either in zeros or ones, quantum computers use quantum bits or qubits that can exist in multiple states at the same time. Because of this, quantum computers can test millions of combinations simultaneously instead of at one time. And they go on to talk about the differences. They're going to talk about the current encryptions and possible problems. And yeah, it's probably in the zettabytes. And then, however, quantum computers equipped with significant amount of qubits and stability could potentially break these encryption methods in hours or days rather than in millions of years as they first thought. This is how fast we're moving. This is how fast we're moving, right? So, what impact does that have on the financial sector? You worried about your money? Are you worried about your money? How about you worried about your Bitcoin? You worried about your moonshot? All right, the impact of quantum computing on encryption isn't limited to just data protection. The financial sector, which relies heavily on secure communications and transactions, could face significant challenges. Cryptocurrencies, which use similar encryption methods to protect transactions and wallets, could be vulnerable to quantum attacks. So if I got that computer sitting over there, that quantum computer from Japan, and I got it sitting on my desk, and I am uh a hacker, I'm putting out quantum attacks now, right? This has led to increased investment in quantum resistant blockchain technologies. Quantum resistant blockchain technologies. You all are talking about blockchain, but they're talking about quantum resistant, right? Quantum resistant, right? What does that look like? However, some experts argue that the timeline for quantum computers to break current encryption standards might be longer than originally anticipated. Quantum computers face a significant technical challenges, including maintaining qubit stability, reducing error rates, and scaling up to thousands of qubits needed for cryptographically irrelevant computations, right? So here's global initiatives and response. Global initiatives, meaning there's money, meaning there's research, meaning there's jobs, meaning there's companies that's hiring for this right now. What side of the coin do you want to be on? Organizations and government are already taking steps for quantum computing era. The U.S. National Security Agency has published comprehensive guides on quantum resistant cryptography, including specific recommendations for algorithm selection and implementation timelines. The Department of Homeland Security has established a post-quantum cryptography initiative, working with critical infrastructure sectors to assess and address quantum risk. In the private sector, companies like IBM, Microsoft, and Google have formed a quantum economic development consortium, QED-C, to coordinate quantum computing preparedness efforts. This focus has not only made an impact domestically, as in the European Union has launched the European quantum communication infrastructure, investing billions of euros in quantum resistant communication networks. China has also made significant investment in both quantum computing development and quantum resistant cryptography. And with the Chinese MISCUS satellite demonstrating quantum key distribution capabilities, the Ukraine National Cybersecurity Center, or NCSC, has developed a roadmap from transitioning quantum safe algorithms, emphasizing the need to crypto agility, the agility to quickly switch between different cryptographic algorithms as needed. And then they talk about the challenges and the conclusion. So again, I just mentioned what we're talking about with the Google's chip, and what does this look like for the future, not only for cyber but for finance. And it's inclusive of blockchain, inclusive of all of the things that you're doing in the crypto space, right? So again, how do we protect your money from a quantum attack? How do you protect your money from being siphoned out of a blockchain? If I can hack the blockchain, right? Stop waiting for someone to tell you what's next. It is out here. All right. We talked about that. Let's go here. So I thought this one was interesting. Fake job ads and fake identities. How North Korea gets its hands on our data. Fake jobs and fake ads. How many of y'all get a text and say, hey, we got a job open? Send us your resume. We found you on blah, 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 blah. Right? This came out in November. Let's talk about it. Data theft has become an undeniable geopolitical weapon, and no player has mastered it quite like North Korea. North Korea, rather than relying solely on traditional hacking methods, the regime has adopted a far more insidious approach, exploiting the vulnerabilities of the job market. This might be why fake job ads scams saw a 28% spike in 2023. As these methods become more advanced, both companies and individuals need to stay vigilant to protect themselves and from this rising threat. All right, so how is it going? The growing threat of North Korean cyber actors. With limited access to the global markets due to international sanctions, North Korea regime has developed a sophisticated hacking capabilities that focus on stealing sensitive information, financial assets, and intellectual property. The groups, often backed by the Lazarus Group, have involved in major attacks in Sony and the WannaCry ransom. Their approach combines sophisticated hacking techniques with social engineering, allowing them to slip through traditional defenses. They pose a legitimate job. They pose as legitimate job seekers or employers, using fake job ads and resumes to gain access to corporate networks. Once they're inside, they steal sensitive information such as corporate IP, financial data, and personal details. Oh, Zara, thank you for the $10 the $10 super chat. It says, "Hi Tam, can you share what Black investment groups in Los Angeles to join?" I would have to look that up. I would have to look that up. I will have to talk. I got a couple of people out there in Los Angeles that I could talk to. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. Off the top of my head, there's a few, but we'll have to look that up. Um, let's see. It says so. Let's say, hold on. My mouse said. Oh, here we go. It said, but their tactics don't stop at fake identities. North Korean hackers are also experts at faking entire websites to further their espionage goals. This might take a page about invoice factoring for SMBs, copy everything but redirect potential leads to phishing page. These sites are designed to capture login credentials, personal information, and other sensitive data, making it easier for hackers to penetrate and target the company's systems detected. These hackers are also using spear phishing or phishing, a highly targeted form of phishing or phishing. This research they research their victims and send emails and seem to come from trusted sources. These emails often contain malicious attachments or links that once clicked give the hackers access to the victim's computer. And then they'll talk about their fake identities and how they fake identities and get jobs, right? These actors commonly use platforms like LinkedIn or job boards to build credible profiles that attract recruiters for hiring managers, right? So your information could be used on somebody else's resume. You may not be attracted by your name, but they may be attracted by their name and your qualifications. So a lot of you have your resume out there publicly. Your resume may be out there publicly. Somebody scoops your resume up, changes a couple of things, say they graduated from X, Y, and Z, put it out there. How many people have had a company call back to see if you actually graduated from the college? How do they know you graduated from the college? Has anybody ever called back? Just look, just saying. It says also how they use fake job ads to target developers, right? It said they lure unsuspecting developers into engaging with these ads and unknowingly exposing the devices to malicious software, right? The impact of the companies and developers and so forth. So I'm putting it out here, things that you all need to be aware of, right? I ain't never had nobody call my school. Only if they got a clearance. Only if I got a clearance, they probably call. All right. So cyber. This is 2024, enhancing the cyber resilience research of various energy and utilities industry challenges. So let's just hop down here. Hopefully, I can get a quick overview of the challenges. Let me look and see. So again, challenges on the network side, the application, overall planning and security, right? Challenges on the power side, on the cyber side of power, the access, how old are the chips that they're using, are there any updates, has the application been updated, is somebody protecting the application, are they looking at the updates, has the company gone out of business and it's just working. A lot of companies have gone out of business, but somebody has this application that's using that stuff and it just works, and so they have just left it. Nobody has migrated off of it, right? Let's go. So quantum computing and cybersecurity and preparing for new age threats. We talked about this. We got an understanding of that. All right, the dark side of and this was from 2023, malware evolution and cyber threats. I won't go into this one today because I want to talk about the new cyber threats. I want to include the cyber threats from AI and quantum. I want to include the cyber threats for AI and quantum. So I'm gonna pull this one down. I got that somewhere. So all right. So now let's get into this video. Let me close this and let me go back here. And let me see if I have it. Let me see if it starts right here. Hold on. Are
you friends with them?
I knew one of them, yeah.
Lisa
Sutton.
Yeah.
That don't necessarily have to be with you just screaming and yelling at people. Any nirvana for Black people, or especially Black.
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm. You know, because that's just death. You know, it's like if you get.
Yeah, we'll go right here.
You know what comfortable feels like, both.
I know what comfortable feels like?
Yeah, that right there. That's why I want to talk about.
You know what comfortable feels like, both.
Do I know what comfortable feels like?
Have you ever allowed yourself to get comfortable?
I don't think in a workspace, no.
Yeah, that's what I mean in the workspace.
Yeah, I haven't. No.
Why
I don't
not?
know. Because there isn't one. Not because I haven't allowed myself to, but because that's just death. It's like if you get too comfortable in the corporate spaces, somebody's gonna come get you.
Mhm.
And I don't think that there's any nirvana for Black people, or especially Black women in these spaces. And so I'm like, yeah, you always got to watch your back. So I don't think I've ever been comfortable. No.
I'm glad you said that too, because I feel the same way, and I think.
All right, so let's talk about this, because of course the comments on this was a lot, but let's have a conversation about it, right? Being comfortable in the space, right? Being comfortable in the space, will somebody come for you? Absolutely. And also being comfortable in the space also says a lot of things too, that you are okay with where you're at and you're going to ride it out. And there's nothing wrong with you being okay where you're at and going to ride it out. But just know that if you do not in that space continue to move around in the space, in the company, and get more skills, you will become obsolete. You can stay at one company for 20 years. That's fine. But how do you stay in one company for 20 years doing the same damn job? You ain't got no more skills. Imagine all the skills that you ever obtained in life was when you were 5 years old. And those are the skills that you use the rest of your life. Them all the skills you ever obtained. Do you think that you will be able to compete as an adult with your 5-year-old skills? Right? And a lot of times, and I'm not pointing fingers or blaming nobody, I'm just simply saying is your level of comfort it should be at home. Right? You need to be able to move in and out. And a lot of people look at this as stress. A lot of people look at this as stress. Now, my question is it stress, or is it just is it a way of being for you to survive, or is it just one of the things you already been doing? You said, but you can't be comfortable with moving around. Oh yeah, you can. I'm gonna tell you why you can. When you work in tech, this is Tameika's opinion, people are the same. They're the same at every company. And you got to learn how to point them out quick. You're gonna have somebody that's the brown noser. You're gonna have somebody that is the overachiever. You're gonna have somebody that is the passive aggressive person and don't do no work. You're gonna have somebody that wants to lead but has poor leadership skills. You're gonna have somebody that got true leadership skills. And then you're gonna have the people that just really don't know what they're doing, and you don't even know how they got there. Then you figure out how they got there. You're gonna run into all these. I just gave you 6 people you're gonna run into. And then you're gonna have people that'll be your friends until they find out you make more than them. Until they find out you got a better car and house than them. It do. That's what I'm saying. So me moving in and out of jobs, I know I'm gonna encounter them. And I know I have encountered them. So here's the thing you gotta do. I know I'm going to encounter you. I know you're gonna be there. Guess what I'm gonna do? Do what I gotta do. And do it to the best of my ability and shine like no other. Don't be embarrassed because I'm shining. Don't be embarrassed because I come in here and flip the scene. Don't be embarrassed because I'm able to move and do my thing. But you just gonna have those people. And last but not least, you're gonna have people that's gonna buck the system. So about 8 people you gonna those are the 8 different personalities you're gonna work with. So make sure you do what you're supposed to do. You gotta learn how to spot them. You gotta learn how to spot them. You gotta be like, gotcha. See you over there. Noted. Oh, you one of them that cry? Got it. For you say I work with about 7 of them. Exactly. On a daily basis. On a daily basis. Do what you need to do. Make sure it's documented. Make sure you have a way to document it and others see it. After that, put that on your resume and let's keep it pushing. That's it. Now, when you talk about the you can't gain the power, it is understanding. You got to understand who the key players are. Who are the key players when you walk in the room? Who are making decisions? How are they making decisions? Who are they reporting to? Are they reporting in what's their leeway? What does that look like? When you walk in the room, what's your leeway? What does that look like? What power do you have to make decisions? How can I empower you to do X, Y, and Z? Right? That's what you want to know. Because you need to know how they gonna move. Simple. A beautiful texture, that's a good job. And if you're feeling froggy, you can export your Jira ticket and keep it for yourself in case somebody go back in and deletes your information. Export your ticket because people are crafty. Make sure version control is on everything that you do. Make sure you got it on there. People are crafty. Let's see where we want to go next before I get into it. Hold on. Let me make sure I want to go down this road. All right. Let me see. Let's go here first. All right, let's go. Walmart. I don't know if y'all saw this. Walmart bets on the stressed out fading middle manager future, bumping the pay up to 620,000. You all want to argue about 50-50 and 100K? Walmart's like throw this 620 out there. It was 175. Walmart is offering pay raises and stock bonuses that will mean some managers can earn up to 600,000. This week, the retail giant Walmart announced that about 440 managers are set to earn a pay raise that will bump some employees' salaries well high into the six-figure range, even up to 620,000. Walmart is increasing the base pay, bonus opportunity, and annual stock rewards for our market managers. A Walmart spokesperson said, confirmed to Fortune. The position is key for our business and for serving our customers however they shop. This is the latest in a series of investments in hourly salary roles across Walmart. On February the 1st, base pay for market managers will be raised from 130 to 160, factoring in additional bonus and stock rewards. Managers made about 320 to 570,000 in 2024, accounting for the policy change and additional stock granted. These employees would take home 420 to 620,000. Stock grants for market managers will increase to 100,000 a year, up from 75, while potential bonuses will rise to 100% of the base pay, up from 90% per Wall Street Journal, which first reported the changes. Um, right. This is the latest wage investment in people. Recent Walmart raised its hourly wages and started a bonus program to incentivize loyalty, which a maximum bonus of 1,000 for workers who have been in Walmart for 20 years. Should have just gave them 20,000 for each of those years, but who am I? And they got the money to do it. Walmart hourly employees make an average of 1750. According to the company website, pay raises will remain allotted to reduce turnover, a driving factor behind the new payment programs for managers and so forth, right? So up to 620. Up to 620. Right? All right, cool. Decline all. All right, so Linux code is changing. Here is another opportunity. Why is this another opportunity? Because the Linux code needs to change in order to cut down on the data center usage. So now we're start talking about scaling back. What does that look like? So let's look. Changing 30 lines of code. And we'll blow that up. Changing 30 lines of code in Linux could cut energy use of some data centers by 30%, researchers claim. And this is coming from the University of Waterloo in Canada. Say making a small alteration to use the to Linux code used by many data centers to process packets of network traffic can lead to a significant energy reduction. Open source operating system that is used widely used in most data centers, right? Through research, Martin Creston, professor of computer science in University of Waterloo, Mouth faculty, and computer science grad Peter, I guess K, discovered that the way that data centers were processing packets of network traffic was inefficient, and devised a small change to make it more efficient. So now those updates will probably come out and probably get pushed worldwide. But not only that, there will probably be more analysis on how Linux does things in order to make things much more efficient as well. All right. We didn't add anything. We rearranged what is done, which led to much better usage of data center CPU caches. It's kind of like rearranging the pipeline of a manufacturing plant so that you don't have people running around all the time. Right. So they changed 30 lines of code is in the latest kernel version of 6.13. All these big companies, Google, Amazon, Meta, use Linux in some capacity, but they're picky about how they decide to use it. If they choose to switch on our method in data centers, it could save gigawatt hours of energy worldwide. Almost every single request that happens on the internet could positively be affected by this, or be could be positively affected by this. All right, so changing 30 lines of code could help data centers around the world. Right. All right. So let's look at this. This goes back to the whole thing with space. Jeff Bezos orbital reef $100 billion space station for luxury tourism. Now, those that have been here before, I told you before, right off the space coast, when we're talking about space perspective, and I said that they will be one of the oh, look at that. Let's look at this space perspective. Look at this though. Look at this news. They're facing eviction. Each 6 hour space for they're facing eviction here. We know about Space Perspective next move as it faces eviction out of Titusville. Titusville, they got kicked out. So those that don't know what I'm talking about, let's go over here so you can see what I'm talking about with Space Perspective. Right here.
Welcome to space and a whole new perspective on our planet below. At Space Perspective, we've developed the world's first carbon neutral spaceflight experience. We've completely reimagined human spaceflight to be as gentle on our Earth as it is on our explorers. Spaceship Neptune is designed to be the most accessible way to travel to space. With no rockets, heavy G-forces, or training required, it's as easy as being on an airplane. The spacecraft features a pressurized capsule that accommodates 8 explorers and a captain, and a space balloon which propels the capsule to 100,000 feet at cycling speed, about 12 miles per hour. The flight experience will last 6 hours from launch to landing. Spaceship Neptune ascends 2 hours to apogee, where it will remain for another 2 hours as explorers enjoy a 360-degree view of our planet through the largest windows ever flown to space. When returning to Earth, the spacecraft ascends another 2 hours until it reaches the ocean for a gentle landing, thanks to our patented splash cone, which attenuates the splashdown and stabilizes the capsule. While explorers are in flight, they'll be able to walk around comfortably in our cabin, which is far different from the stark, white aesthetic of modern spacecraft. Inside, you'll find Wi-Fi and all the amenities you'd expect in a first-class space lounge, including a world-class culinary program and bar. There's also a bathroom, the world's first space spa. At Space Perspective, we're driven by a desire to share the transformative power of space travel with as many people as possible. We know that looking down on planet Earth from the deep blackness of space, the quintessential astronaut experience, will radically shift one's perception of our world and our place within it. We call this the space perspective, and we look forward to sharing it with you.
Okay, so while we down here arguing about what's going on Earth, they going to space. I'm gonna look for it here in a minute, but let me read this article real quick. I may have to log in um and go no, I don't have to log in for this one. Sorry, Jeff Bezos is unveils his orbital reef $100 billion space station for luxury tourism. People are going to start getting engaged on in space. We're going to start seeing people take their Instagram to space. That is going to be a thing. Just wanting you to know what you're up against. Um, let's see if I can find it. All right, here. This one is the one of the ones, but let me show you.
So you want to live on Mars. Obviously sounds cool in theory, but in practice, we're talking about the most complicated, dangerous, and straight up expensive proposition in all of human history. Imagine building Rome, launching Apollo 11, deploying the ISS, and settling North America, all happening at the same time, 150 million miles away from the Earth on a frozen desert rock in outer space. Colonizing Mars is going to require the most epic team-up event in spaceflight history, the established old guard of NASA joining forces with the lunatic genius of SpaceX to smash through the Great Filter, defy the Fermi paradox, and make humanity a true multiplanetary species. And here is how they're going to.
So we have the Mars colony that we're working on as well. And we're also working on establishing internet on the moon. So I'll pull that up. All right. So here, this is like I don't have a need to lie to you. These are where you wonder where research and development goes. Here's where some of that research and development goes. Internet on the moon. Let me see if I could find one. Like I said, I talked about this 4 years ago. Let's look and see what he has to say. I haven't looked at his stuff, but let's look and see what he got to say.
Its neighbors is insane. If we imagine the Earth as the size of a soccer ball, the distance between it and the Mars ball would be enough to fit 170 million soccer fields in between. And from the Earth to the moon, it would be more than 3 million soccer fields. Even closer objects that we've sent into near-Earth orbit, like the International Space Station, are 250 miles from the surface of the Earth. That's the distance between New York City and DC. With astronauts being that far away from Earth, you might be asking, how is it possible that they have internet access up there? Especially since there's still billions of people back on Earth that don't. The story of how we got internet into space is fascinating, but it's actually only the beginning of the ultimate goal that groups like NASA are working towards, which is to set up a permanent internet presence on the moon and then on Mars, setting the stage for humans to finally become a multiplanetary species. When that happens, it's going to change everything.
When astronauts stand on the surface of the moon, they will be part of what President Kennedy called the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
I'm gonna pull this over real quick so you can go right to NASA's website and you can look at it right here. Living and working on the moon. What is that going to look like? What regions are they exploring in? Where they're doing, where they're putting now stuff. Just a whole thing about the spacesuits, how they're designed, the whole thing with the lasers and so forth. Again, when we start talking about um, quantum computers and satellites and star what is it, Starlink, is that what it is, Starlink and that. So yeah, we're gonna start looking at it. We said we can't take care of the planet now. How are we going to go to be an interplanetary species? Easy. That again, what is going on with when we're talking about space? What is going on with how we're getting there? How are we creating food? What does that look like? The research and all of that goes into it, right? Rich people doing rich stuff. Yeah, I agree. Get better than getting proposed to it. Yeah, and don't get me wrong. You're right, Purple Rain. It's gonna be a luxury tourism, right? This is all luxury tourism, right? Right. When we start talking about it, right? So again, imagine a vacation not on a tropical island, but 400 meters above Earth. Blue Origin is making a vision a reality with or Orbital Reef, a $100 billion space station project designed to redefine space tourism and habitation. scheduled to make its first launch in 2027 and have full operations by 2030. This ambitious project aims to set a new standard of luxury and innovation to space. It says the orbital reef will orbit Earth at the same altitudes as the International Space Stations, but will focus on tourism, research, and sustainable life. Developed in collaboration with Sierra Space, Boeing, and industry leaders, the station's modular design offers 823 cubic meters of space, including luxurious living quarters, communal areas, and advanced research facilities. The space station initial capacity is for 10 guests, but its scalable design ensures it can accommodate a future demand. A vision for the future. Unlike other visions of colonizing planets, Bezos emphasizes the sustainability of space stations. Humanity's future lies in orbital habitats like orbital reef, where we can live and work without being tied to a single planet. Partners in innovation, especially Sierra Space. Go look at Sierra Space. Provides its expendable life modules, ensuring versatility and comfort for long-term habitation. The Dream Chaser spacecraft, also developed by Sierra Space, will handle the transport of crews and supplies. Amazon contributes to the logistics expertise, ensuring efficiency supply chain operations, while Boeing lends its aerospace engineering capabilities to the project. It says collaboration with Orbital Reach focus on sustainability and innovation. NASA has invested 130 million in the project of its commercial low orbit and so forth. What are the rules when in space and you're on the space station? Can you take a gun with you? Can you stand your ground? If Karen comes over to your space, can you pop off on Karen? Can you punch Karen in the space? I just I just got questions. What are who gonna make the rules? Who making the rules? Who make the rules? Are you what happens? How you wash your clothes? How quick can you boil rice? Right? What does that look like? Right? So competition in space tourism, Orbital Reef faces competition from projects like Haven One, a luxury space station headed by Jed McCaleb and scheduled to launch in 2025. Let's go look at Haven One. All right, so here go Haven One. I hear it, I can hear it, but we just gonna look at it for right now. Let's look at Haven One. No sound. You just want to let's just see what they talking about. All right. Space law, yeah. Who space law? Like, what's the rules? If you in if can you are you gonna have lottery in space and you win $1 million? Are they gonna create space money? Does money change? What is the currency? What is the currency? Right? What does that look like? Also, are we gonna have TV shows created in space? What does that look like? I'm mad she got this little vial and just and sticking something in there. Yep, space tourism is an actual industry, yes. And also, every year NASA has the space equipment challenge, like how to create better equipment. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna have Uber Eats in space. What kind of gym shoes should you have while you're on the space station? Right? Just some things to think about, right? Just some things to think about. All right. So we talked about the. Oh no, we didn't talk about that. Let's talk about this one. So Blackstone is getting ready to buy. Is yeah, all of this is research and development, right? Blackstone is buying a Virginia data center for 1 billion. A Virginia power plant near the data centers for 1 billion. All right, Blackstone buying a data center. So again, buying the power plant to power the data centers, right? Again, how do we power these data centers, right? All right. I thought this was interesting too. Linux rolls out the welcome mat for Microsoft Copilot. So Copilot looks like they're working with the Linux OS to come up with an assistant in the operating system as well too. What does that look like? Uh, I know Red Hat has um, AI in Linux, and there's some other tools that you could download. But just think about it. Uh, you know, just think about what does that look like to have a generative AI. Like here it says, some are pressed into servers as Linux machines where a Copilot key has no meaning. Until now or sooner or later, this is coming out in kernel 6.14. We're seeing 2 updates now. Earlier this week, Lavino's Mark Peterson dropped in a change to the ATKBD keyboard driver in Linux to ensure proper support for the key. However, it's up to what is ever being used in the desktop environment to decide to do with it. So again, we have Copilot going into the Linux operating system, right? Microsoft Copilot going into the operating system. So you'll be able to do some AI, learn right from you right now on your Linux machine as well. All right, we talk about changing the code. We talk about the space tourism. How much time I got? I got 10 minutes. What do we want to talk about for 10 minutes? All right, let's talk here. I know what I want to talk about. Let's talk about this for the next 10 minutes. Gen Z is losing a skill we've had for 5,500 years. 40% are losing the mastery of communication. I think overall, it's not just Gen Z. I think everybody is losing the art of communicating, the art of listening, the art of having the ability to understand where someone is coming from without getting mad. I don't think it just affects Gen Z. I think this affects everyone. Um, I think there is also a lost art in public speaking, how we convey messages to others, how others receive the message, and how do we break down what we want to say, where someone can have an action item as they walk away. Right. So let's look at it. It says, is Gen Z losing touch with handwriting? A shocking 40% struggle with this vital skill, risking their cognitive development and personal connections. Discover what's at stake for future communications to bridge this gap. It says, in our fast moving, and it looks small. Let me blow it up there. Blow it up one more time. There we go. In our fast moving digital world, handwriting is starting to feel like it lost art, especially for Gen Z. Those who were born in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Those that are born in the 99s and the 2000s. This shift made us wonder about the future of how we communicate and think. A recent study from University of Stavanger has found some pretty alarming. Around 40% of Gen Zers are losing their grip on handwritten communication. a skill that has been key to human interaction since about 5,500 years ago. Right? It says digital technology has totally changed how we chat with each other. Apps like WhatsApp and social media sites such as Instagram push us toward quick messages. So basically, what they're saying is no one is going to know how to write a love letter. You ain't going to be able to check yes or no on the box. Y'all going to be sending a digital format, a check yes or no, an email check yes or no. The art of public speaking, the art of handwriting, the art of all of this is going away. Right? It says apps like WhatsApp and social media sites such as Instagram push us toward quick messages full of abbreviations and emojis. With these platforms taking over, and we're not gonna say nobody's name who is an emoji queen on here. We ain't gonna say nobody's name, but the emoji queen know who they are. Straight, look at it. Look at these emojis coming in right here. Crying, can't look at this. Just a mess. Just a blasphemy. Just a mess. The person that I'm talking about uh is behind the scene, is the emoji queen. D, how you doing today? Emoji. D, what's going on with you? I'm good. Emoji. I don't want no emoji. What? Who am I talking to? A bot? Emoji queen. Did you like that dinner? Thumbs up. Oh, I can't take it. Oh. All right. It says some experts believe Gen Z might be the first generation not only to nail down functional hand, not to really nail down functional handwriting. This isn't about ease. It points to bigger shifts in how we handle information and connect with others. As digital communication takes center, we're losing the personal touch that comes with handwritten notes. Why handwriting matters for your brain. Why handwriting matters for your brain. It says writing by hand is super important for the brain development. It is. I always take hand notes. I'm a hand notes person. I need to write it down, right? For the brain, it gets your brain working in ways typing just doesn't. It's tied to key skills like remembering stuff and understanding what you read to hear. Handwriting calls for fine motor skills and mental focus, which helps reinforce learning. Reports from several universities, backed up by stories in the Turkish newspaper, show that Gen Z students often struggle with when they need to do anything handwritten. They're left feeling bewildered when asked to write clearly. When asked to write clearly because they're out of practice, resulting in messy scribbles and that are hard to read. All right. You feel seen? Don't forget the gifts and emojis. Just so sad. Just so sad. Are you hungry? Sends a child rubbing a stomach. What mess is this? They're already testing with Starlink on flights and cell phones. Yes, they are. Let's get back to it. College students often lack basic writing know-how. Many avoid crafting long sentences or coherent paragraphs, choosing instead short sentences that look more like social media posts than essays. You guys are writing your essays like your social media posts. I only got 130 words that I got to put in. Plus, it's not uncommon for students to show up at a university without pens, relying only on keyboards for note taking and assignments. You can't overlook social media influence here. Sites like Twitter push for shortness and speediness, shaping our how our young people talk online and face to face. Now that is true. How you talk online is probably how you probably talk in person, right? The drop in the handwriting skill isn't about sending letters or postcards. It touches on how Gen Z sees and understands their surroundings. Handwriting usually means thoughtful personal communication, a big contrast to the often hasty nature of digital text. So here's the big question: can Gen Z juggle their digital lives while keeping alive these age-old skills that have shaped society? The answers were shaped out on how we communicate, but also our grasp to cultural heritage. Like, how is this going to play out? Is basically what they're asking. If we can't communicate via handwritten, this right here is about the guy from Dropbox. I won't talk about that. Let's talk about this and then we'll end up out of here. I have 5 minutes. Um, can't leave it out here without some type of finance stuff. Um, we talked about some other things, but let's talk about some finances. All right, so the average age of your 401k by balance, and this comes from Fidelity. So this is what Fidelity sees. I'm gonna hop down here to the actual thing. And it says Gen Z age, it says 401k balance by age 2024 second and third quarters, and this is from Fidelity. It says Gen Z about they're averaging about 13 in Q3, and then in Q3 for millennials it's about 66,000. That's ages from 28 to 43. This is what they're seeing on average that they're having. And then Gen X, 44 to 59 is seeing 191,000 or 192,000. And boomers are seeing about 250, right, in Q3. Now, what does that mean for you, right? Well, boomers at 250 from 60 to 78 probably won't make no more money, right? Unless they're still working or whatnot, which could be a possibility. But Gen X, you have from now until really up until 62, if you want to look at retirement age. I think it may be 65 now. I think somebody was saying, uh, to 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 make some money, to earn something for retirement. Like, again, this is just an average. It says the I here goes here the balance and the ideal minimum savings in Q3. In the 50s 223, in the 40s 130, in the 50s 223, 60s 249, and 70s 252. Right now, let's talk about it. All right. So in the United States, the average income retirement varies, but most people, it says the average in 2022 before tax households was 96, but the median was 47. Right. It says the median annual income for people 65 and older is 54,000 or 4,500 a month. Can you all work the rest of your life and only bring in 4,500 a month for the rest of your life? You retire at 62, and from 62 on, all you bringing in is 4,400 a month, 4,500 a month. Can you do it? That's the question you all have to ask yourself. How much money do I need to sustain myself if I didn't work, an emergency came up or what have you? How can I sustain myself? Utilize all the vehicles that are out there for you to gain one knowledge, two invest it, and then three um set up a network of each other. I was just talking to a friend of mine last night, and we were talking about it's no need to hide everything now. We Everybody need to be talking about how do we get to the multi-million salaries or multi-million in our retirement. The games are over and the days are over where you're not working, where you're not cooperating or coordinating with each other to get to that next level. Right? Yeah, you got to include for inflation. Right? All right. I wanted to bring that up because the number is 2.5 million that they want you to have for retirement. Now, I'm going to go here and we're going to pull up our rich auntie. Not her. Her. She is vehemently against anybody retiring at 55 with 500 to 700,000, even a million in some cases. She said it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. So again, where do you see yourself in this world? Um, how do you want to see yourself? What do you want to be remembered by? And last but not least, what are you gonna do right now to change it? You've seen the money, you've seen the efforts, the time, the things that the people are doing. What are you gonna do? All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming out. Don't forget to share this. Don't forget to like, and also last but not least, don't forget to take action. If you if you haven't wrote down what you want to do, get off this live and go write down what it is that you want to do. Spend 30 minutes. It's not gonna make or break you, but start trying to change and work towards it now. Don't wait. Right? Don't wait. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe.